Who would have thought City getting battered was bad for Arsenal? Oh dear. Good morning, 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 good morning. Welcome, Arsenal fans, to another edition of the Big Arsenal Breakfast Show. That's right, we are live at 7 a.m. It's Thursday, the 12th of March, and I'm your host, Edwin Ash, to go through all of last night's thrilling, spilling, and not so filling Champions League action. Before we get into that, though, just would like to do a little bit of admin, the usual admin, which is basically please like and subscribe. It helps grow the channel, helps get us reach to more Arsenal fans, more discussion, more news, more reviews, and the occasional booze. Hopefully not the occasional booze. It's not really what we're looking for. But yeah, like and subscribe if you can be bothered. We also have, as you're probably aware by now, the podcast. So if you are watching this live, but you're on the hop and you want to catch up with the rest of it later, you can find the podcast in all your regular podcast outlets. And yeah, try and do a bit of that if you can. And if you like it, please like and subscribe. And also maybe tell some good friends. But we have a lot to get into. Of course, Arsenal played Leverkusen in the first round of the knockout phase last night. And it was average, wasn't it? Let's be honest. It was a bit, I think we're a bit okay with it, but we'll come to that. Also, you can get in touch. We want your big Arse opinions on this. Always, we want your big Arse opinions. And you can get in touch on the socials. So TikTok and Instagram are the same. That's at Big Arse Breakfast. Big Arse Breakfast for TikTok. On X, we are over at Big Arse Brekkie. And on Blue Sky, we are at bigarsebreakfast.bsky.social. Also, you can get in the chat. Have a little live chat with us. Why not? What have you got to say? We'll read it out on the air. We'll have a discussion. So you can get in the chat as well. Right. Okay. So let's get into last night. Fluked it? Deserved it? Disappointed? Content? Meltdown? I don't think it's meltdown territory, is it? We're not at DEFCON 5 for meltdown, not even DEFCON 6. I think that's the way it goes. Doesn't it go 5 to 1? It's 1 the highest? No, it's 1 the... I never know with that. But yeah, look, let's have a little chat about the other games first. Bodo and Glimt beat Sporting 3-0. That was a thrashing. Real Madrid smashed City 3-0. And I don't think that's that good for us. I mean, actually, funny enough, I think we might see City turn that. I still think City can turn that around. I mean, there's been some bizarre nights in the Champions League. And with the way that these teams are playing, like, for instance, all City fans were saying last night, excuse me, with my hair in my mouth. Oh, excuse me, how uncivilized. I saw a lot of City fans last night. Actually, I'm not a City fan, obviously, but I thought they were going to beat Man City quite comfortably, but you never know. In the Champions League, you never ever know. And City should have won that game about 5-0. Donnarumma has kept them in that game with that penalty save. Well, when it would have made it 4-0, I think that was unsurmountable. But 3-0, I still think City got a chance. I could still see Real collapsing. And we kind of want that, don't we? We want them to go into another round, because if they don't, I think they're going to have a week off in prep before they play us. So yeah, well, I'm not so keen on them getting knocked out at this stage. PSG walloped Chelsea, who were kind of in the game until the last 15 minutes, and it was an absolutely chef's kiss collapse. So I would suggest that I can't see Chelsea turn that one around. But anyway, we're not here to talk about them, those losers. We're here to talk about the Arsenal. And I think we should get right into it. So, 1-1 at the Bay Arena. Andrić, who should have been sent off, we'll come to that later, or could have been sent off, got the first in the 47th minute, straight after the kickoff of the second half, when we were totally lackluster and sloppy. And then Kai Havertz returning to his home birthing place, his birth of footballness place, came back to, let's say, haunt them, but just say hello show. Remember me? I mean, they did remember him because they gave him such an amazing reception. I mean, that is really something, isn't it? I thought that was quite sweet. But he gets a penalty. Some say a dubious penalty, but we will come to that. Let's have a look at the lineups. So I think every man and his pet goldfish predicted the lineup. So this one, it was Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Rice, Zubimendi, Eza, Saka, Martinelli, Gyökeres. On the bench was Kepa, Ranson. Yes, I know him. I'm a big fan of him. I know him very well. Mosquera, White, Jesus, Norgard, Madueke. We'll come to him. Havertz, Calafiori, Lewis Skelly, Dowman, and Salmon. Dowman. I would have liked to have seen him in that game. I've got to be honest. We're going to talk about the blunted attack, but I would have liked to have seen that little bit of oomph that Dowman gives us. And I have to say, I was a little bit disappointed that he couldn't maybe come into the game. Maybe it's too big an occasion, too big people, you know, maybe it just wasn't quite right. You know, you got to trust the boss on that one. I think we've got to protect that kid, but I don't know. I thought there was room for him. We're gonna have a look at the stats. Our ball possession was 55 to their 45. Expected goals was 1.65 to their 0.88. So we did create more chances, or more clear-cut chances, but they had more shots, 10 to 6. They had more shots on target, 3 to 6. They had one big chance, we had 2. They missed 0 big chances, we missed 1. Accurate passes was 387, which is 88%, to our 456, which was 87%. They committed 9 fouls. Someone maybe should have been sent off. And we committed 10. And they had 2 corners, one of which they scored from. I mean, how's the narrative on that? I'm sure you saw all the jokes they were putting out, like, please stay off the grass, no corners, please don't cheat ball your way to. I mean, bloody hell. I talked about this on yesterday's show. They bought the narrative as well. And that kind of showed in the last minute. We'll talk about that. Havertz got a yellow card for standing, which was new on me. But they had 2 corners and we had 3. Let's wrap up some player ratings. So I always take these from FOTMob. If you're new to the show, I always take these from FOTMob. Why do I take them from FOTMob? Because they give us sort of statistical-based analysis on what the player rating should be. Now, I'm not wedded to this. I want you to give me your player ratings. That's what we're here for. But I use these as a kind of jump-off point because they take about 300 different Opta stats, squish them all together, roll them out nicely, and make a little player ratings pie for each player. And I have to say, I kind of like it as a jumping point, but let's give you some examples. So Raya got a 6.6, Hincapié 6.3. I thought he was good in Hincapié. Gabriel 7, Saliba 7.1, Timber 6.9, Zubimendi 6.9, Rice 6.8, Eza 6.8, Saka 6. Yeah, we are going to talk about that. Martinelli a 7, and we are also going to talk about that, because I don't think he was as bad as everyone said he was. And Gyökeres got a 6.3, which I think might have been generous. After the game, Mikel said, I just got a little quote here from G-Dog 4002. Hey, algorithm just chucked you in. Collectively, a 3. Interesting. What you think we were? Is that what you're saying? G-Dog, tell me more. You saying that we were collectively a 3? That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Give me more, man. Give me more. Okay. So let's while G-Dog sums up his quote there and gives us a little bit more in-depth analysis, which we're willing to hear, G-Dog. The boss had this to say. Boss had this to say about the game. He said the game had very different periods. We started quite well, had a massive chance with Martinelli, who hits the crossbar. In those moments, if you score, the game changes completely, and we had certain dominance, but we didn't finish enough actions, and that allows certain counter-attacks, and they are quite dangerous with that. They certainly were. Flying by the seat of my pants, I was. We wanted to start the second half strongly, and it was the complete opposite, not paying attention on the kickoff, which we discussed before the match, and then they have a clear header, and then they score, and it's game on, and the tide changes. We had to stay emotionally composed, and we improved in certain changes, and we had more possession and threat on the wings, and we found a way back into the match. We knew they had certain routines and showed those images. We didn't do it and we paid the price for it. Football has very funny and nice stories as well. And it was very impressive the way Kai took the penalty. Obviously, it was a big goal for us. Yeah, it was. It was impressive how he took the penalty. We'll come to that in a bit. We have to use the home advantage. The tie is 50-50 now. There is a lot to do. We're going to need our players to be at their best. And then he spoke about Noni Madueke's impact. He said he was really good. He changed rhythm, dynamic, and threat and had a big impact on the result. He absolutely did. I'm just going to pause there for a slight second. G-Dog's giving us an update. He said Saka, Gyökeres, and Zubi were anonymous. Rice trying to be the hero, but nothing from midfield or attack. One chance, a suspicious pen, lucky to get a draw. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that, G-Dog. I think lucky to get a draw. Yeah, I sort of see what you mean. I think we had a couple of chances. We had some good areas, but we had some promising counters with bits of space that we didn't exploit. I'm going to come to that in a minute, G-Dog, and I'll have to summarize that a bit afterwards because I've got some notes on the game. Suspicious pen, yeah. I think it's a pen in the Premier League, though. I do think it's a pen in the Premier League. But yeah, lucky to get a draw, probably. Kind of maybe deserved it on balance, but didn't deserve it on opportunity. So I'm with you there, G-Dog. I'm with you there. I just want to say, have a look at what Noni Madueke said after the game. He said, we are confident we will get the job done in London. Good. The manager just said, go on and try and change the game. I don't really know what happened for the penalty. I just felt contact, went down and penalty. On Kai Havertz, he said Kai has been scoring high-pressure penalties all his career. Top composure to step up. Really pleased, not just for him, but for the team as well. When you come on, your team is losing, it gives you that extra impetus to try and change it. When you score in the last minute to draw a game, it is a positive thing. There are certain things we could have done better today, and we know that. On the ball, I felt we weren't as good as we can be today. It is things we will work on and show in London, I'm sure. Yeah, okay, right. So I'm going to rattle through the game. I've got a lot of notes here and bits and pieces. Maybe let's relive it together. Hold on to your butts and I'll just do a little recap of sort of what happened. So I thought in the second minute, we had a nice bit of hold-up play from Jock. I thought early on he looked quite good. Early on, really early on. For about 10 minutes, he actually did some bits and pieces that were more traditional striker. I thought, oh, maybe he's learning, his touch is getting better, etc. We'll come to that. Then there was a set piece by Saka, which did that low drive through the box. And I wonder if that was a routine rather than a shot. He played it right bang in the middle of the area where loads of players were. And it actually went out for a corner, but they got given a goal kick. And I thought that looked like we were playing for a deflection or playing for someone to tap it in. In the 5th minute, Jock, again, drawing a foul. Andrick was walking on a tightrope. He possibly should have gone. I'm not sold on that, but he possibly should have gone. Kafana on the break fires straight at Raya. That was a warning for them from them all night. In the 15th minute, Leverkusen had another break. They blazed it over the bar. And then that 19th minute opportunity where we played our best football of the night, some one-touch, two-touch passing, led to Martinelli smacking one off the bar, which was really disappointing because that could have been an absolutely beautiful Champions League goal. Gabriel took one full in the face, didn't he? And not only did he take it in the face, he went for it with his face. I mean, honestly, they should have been checking the ball after that for an injury. Nkapia had a chance. He drilled one, a sort of curly, drilly shot straight at a keeper. Martinelli got booked for shirt pulling. And then Jock, right. Earlier on, I said, oh, yeah, Jock in the first 10 minutes. He was playing quite well. He was holding up. Blah, blah, blah. He ran into the channel. Nice run. He gets the ball. Lovely. He turns back towards Saka. Saka's there and he shanks it out of play. I mean, at that point, I can't even tell you how many new swear words I invented at that point. I was like, funkity cook blur. Like, I was so annoyed. It's like, you're doing really well. Now you just done that. Saka slipped on a counter, trying to cut inside again. Again, that's all he did. I'll come to Saka at the end of this and I want your comments on this as well. He's been getting a lot of grief. Saka's been getting a lot of grief on socials last night. And I think a little bit unduly. I'd like to know your thoughts on that. Like, G-Dog, tell me your thoughts. It wasn't a good performance. We'll surmise that in a minute. And that was half time. I felt we had some areas to counterattack. We had some space. It was Champions League football, different from Premier League. Teams were coming at us and it was worrying how we couldn't exploit those counterattacks. We were so disjointed. And we at that point had reduced mostly to pot shots. But then again, the second half starts, and as Mikel said, we didn't have our heads screwed on, weren't paying attention. Raya makes a great save, and from the corner, which we got, Raya makes a save to save us, and then immediately from the corner they scored, and you're like, come on. We immediately go up the other end. Eza forges a chance, one of his few moments of forging a chance in the game. Martinelli has a tame header. It wasn't an easy shot. And we were casual on the ball. We were so casual. We might have well been wearing flip flops and like Bermudas. We were, it was so lazy. I think that's the part of the brand of football that we have in games where we just couldn't even couldn't forge anything. And that's the brand of football where we basically, that is the part of it where we get a bit bored. G-Dog's got in touch, just saying, switched off, arguing with Chelsea, mate. He thinks we cheated. Don't switch off, G-Dog. Don't switch off. Come on, stay engaged. Stick with us. We're getting to the good stuff. We're getting to your big ass opinions in a minute. Stay with us, G-Dog. He's arguing with a Chelsea mate. Why would you argue with a Chelsea mate? They just got walloped 5-2. That's the end of that argument, isn't it, mate? He thinks we cheated. Wow, okay. And this is a mate? Wow, okay. Back to the game. 60th minute, Madueke came on for Saka. I put at the time that makes sense, and it made much more sense because we were so much better when Madueke came on. We were direct. He was decision making in the moments that Saka wasn't doing. Saka has got like this choice paralysis at the moment where he goes, I'm going to take it close, I'm going to take it close, I'm going to take it close. And the defender's thinking, you're going to cut inside, you're going to cut inside, you're going to cut inside. And that's what he did all night. Zubimendi got booked for being fouled. That was mental. Saliba had one of his off moments. He came herring out of defense with the ball, wanted to get up the pitch, ran into a crowd, and then kicked it out of play. This kind of summed up the night. And then on comes Kai for Gyökeres, and we start to see a little bit of a difference. Garcia had a chance on the break but he blazed it over the bar. Jesus came on for Eze, and I'm not even sure he actually made it on the pitch, Jesus, because I couldn't see him anywhere. It was a teasing ball from Nelly, but Timber couldn't rise enough to head it in. Obviously, it was a really lovely cross from Nelly, who I thought played okay on the night. Basically, Timber I think he mistimed his jump. And then the 86th minute penalty came along. It looked like a pen to me. It was soft. I thought it was going to get overturned because there was just a little bit of contact. I think it's a Premier League penalty. I think it just about is, but I wouldn't have been surprised if it got overturned. But no, they backed the referee. Fair enough. And then it was quite interesting on the comms in the UK. I'm not sure where you were watching from, who you were watching, which particular broadcaster you're watching, but we had Lucy Ward on co-comms, and she said they caught Arsenal on an off day. And I would say, worryingly, that is not an off day for us. That is actually quite a normal day at the moment because we look gassed and we need to change up that attack. And then the last action of the game was Havertz got booked for existing. If any of you, G-Dog, in the chat, if you can tell me what Havertz was booked for, I will give you 10 English pounds. 10 whole English pounds, because I have no idea. No idea what he was booked for. It was weird. Yeah, G-Dog also followed up his comments in the chat saying, agree, but we needed more than Noni at that point in the game. Should have taken Zubi off, and I was calling for Dowman. Mate, I was calling for Dowman. I've been calling for Dowman since the guy turned up. Yeah, I think I agree with G-Dog, and I think the point we're trying to make is we are lacking that kind of ball carrying. Give me the fucking ball. I will do it. I will take someone on, and then when I'm taking people on, you guys are going to spring into life, because at the moment it's kind of static, stale, passy, wait. It's getting a bit frustrating. And if we would, it took us going a goal down to find impetus. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to start the game hair for leather and just go mental and running around and, giving it the beans, the whole thing, and then get gas. But it would be nice for us to start a little bit with more impetus. How many first 45 minutes have we wasted in games? A lot. Now, I saw Nelly getting a lot of flack on I see Nelly getting a lot of flack on socials last night, and actually, I don't think he was that bad. And we looked at the player ratings before. He got 7.1 according to FOTMob. Now, that's not the holy grail of like opinions or anything, but I thought he was effective in places. Not brilliant, but effective in places. Saka, on the other hand, I would say he needs to sit down. He hasn't been right since he came back. He needs a rest. Noni showed what he can do. That's why we bought him. I trust Noni to go into some games coming up. I would trust Noni in the Carling Cup final. I think Saka was gassed. G-Dog, thanks for getting involved, mate. Really, really appreciate it. He said about the Havertz yellow, ref lost the plot. And G-Dog's got to go to work now. Mate, catch us on the podcast. Catch us on the podcast. You can get it from the podcast. If you want to listen to the rest, catch us on the podcast. Thanks for joining us. Really, really appreciate it, mate. Have a good day at work. I got to do the same shortly, buddy. Couldn't we just do this all day? Thanks for joining, mate. Have a good day at work. Hopefully see you tomorrow, buddy. So, yeah, Saka didn't play well. Sit him down would be my opinion. Start Noni. If Havertz can maintain some serious minutes towards the end of the season, he has to start. Gyökeres, the experiment is not working so well. And it's not to say I don't think he has something to offer. I think Gyökeres should become the Jesus, a late comer. Jesus, well, I don't know, man. We spoke about this on the show the other day. Right. So that's my opinions. But we want yours. We want your opinions. Get into the chat. Get into the socials at Big Arse Breakfast on Insta and TikTok, at Big Arse Brekkie on X, and we're on Blue Sky. I can never bother to read it out because it's so ridiculously long. Right, it's time for this.
Apart from the two penalties he gave away, Szeszko never lived out. Szeszko's good for life, mate.
Way too dry. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you know it. You know the sound of that big ass biscuit. You know that sound. You know that sound. It's time for your big ass opinions. And I saw some good stuff last night. I saw some good stuff. We're going to start off, though, with chap who got in contact on the comments yesterday. Now, his handle is at BJJGHHHGJGG. I'm going to pronounce that as Bchucho. Now, it's a long one, but he did get in contact with us. And I will say, if you get in contact, I'm absolutely going to prioritize the guys that are watching the show, as opposed to me scouring the internet looking for the big comments. So come on. Come at us. BJ said, Arsenal are fourth in the Premier League table for keeping the ball in play. There are 16 Premier League teams who have less time with the ball in play. Those fools are terrified that Arsenal will win the quadruple or even win the Premiership and Champions League, with maybe a Carabao Cup and or FA Cup. The fear is real, and these has-beens and pundits never kicked a ball. They are terrified that Arsenal will achieve more than they did, but lies, deception and bullshit are horrible traits. And the very pundits I once respected for their opinions have really let themselves down and showed their agenda. Sad, really. Strong words from BJ. Very strong words indeed. That was regarding a video I posted the other day about pundits just laying into us. And it could have been a video that I posted every day about pundits laying into us, because that's all they do. But thanks for getting involved, man. Now, I think I just gave away a little surprise. Let's get on to what happened around the Twitterverse last night. Where are we? We've got this screenshot here. I've gone too early with that one. Okay. Come on, Eddie. Get your thinking cap on. I know it's early. Right. James Benge. I know you know James Benge of Inside Arsenal and CBS fame. He posted a graphic. Of Arsenal's pass network versus Leverkusen. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, oh, Jesus. It's basically the arc of death. Arc, not particularly forward. We're coming from deeper in their half, going out wide. We are hardly. There's a great big hole right in the middle, on the edge of the penalty area, basically where Ødegaard would be. James Benge commented, "Very 2020 coded." Yes, the pre-Ødegaard years. So I'm calling for Ødegaard to get back in the team. I know he's not been brilliant, but he's busy around that box. I think he would have done well last night. And I think when he's fit, he's got to come back in. We got to work it out. I mean, I would like to see Eze on the left. I'd like to try that again. I know he's been punished. He's in the sin bin for his one mistake against Villa, but I think he can do it. But I do think we need Ødegaard back to help us solve that problem. Moving on to slide number 2, please, Eddie. James Kent at Big Bear Kentlar. He said Martin Ødegaard walks back into the starting 11 when he's fit, but some fans aren't ready for that conversation. Well, this is a fan that is ready for that conversation, so I'm definitely up for that. But let us know what you think. Ødegaard straight back in the team. The False Nine at the False Nine. 9 spelt in the German fashion, N-E-I-N. The False Nine. He said, please, let's see Eze left wing versus Everton. Kai with Victor really need to freshen it up. Amen, brother. We absolutely do. And again, I said earlier, maybe Gyökeres has just got to become a bench player, right? Gyökeres has got to become a bench player. But not if Havertz is playing. I just want to see more. That front three going across that arc of like Martinelli, Gyökeres, Saka is dead. It is dead. Lay it to rest. Let's do something new. And then DDFC_insider at David_Dean_FC said, the reason Ødegaard dropped deep so often this season is becoming clearer. Eze is now doing the same thing, which suggests it's a tactical instruction from Arteta to support the first phase of build-up when the team struggles to progress through Zubi. I think he might be onto something there. I definitely think he might be onto something. It could be tactical. The only thing I would say about that is, when was it? A few months ago, Mikel Arteta was asked in a press conference, what do you do to get Ødegaard up the pitch? And he said, I want him up the pitch. I don't want him, words to the effect, not verbatim, words to the effect, I want him up the pitch. I don't want him coming to drop deep to collect the ball. Maybe it's the psyche of the team, David Dean FC. Maybe it's the psyche of the team. But it's definitely an interesting point. And then, now, ladies and gents, I am not... let me rephrase this. I am a petty man. I am not above Schadenfreude. I dipped in last night, a little bit guiltily, to some fan reactions YouTube videos to watch rival fans losing their collective shit over their teams. And I was on the one... Do you know what? I'm so sad to admit this, but I was on the one that was for City fans. And someone had posted in the comments this absolute gem. Volatile oil prices affecting 115 FC on the pitch. I'm sorry. I found that quite funny. Volatile oil prices affecting 115 on the pitch. Right, it's the instant karma take of the day.
Instant karma take of the day.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is the take of the day that brings down the temperature if we're losing our shit, or just levels us off if we're getting a little bit too excited like a dog with two dicks. The instant karma take of the day comes from The Reacher at SV Carbaholic. He said, saving grace with Arsenal, not to excuse tonight's stinkfest, is that the team is so hard to beat. Only 3 defeats in almost 50 games. Even games we're stinking out the joint, teams have to work overtime to beat us. Means we're always in with a chance. Play better though, bastards. Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure about the bastards bit, but I definitely agree. Play better. Like, just play better. But we are hard to beat, touch wood. And look, there's still a way to go, isn't there? Still a way to go. And if you look at what happened last night with City and Chelsea, Tottenham getting battered, all by 3 goals away. I know Leverkusen are not quite at the same caliber of those teams. Obviously, I would admit that. But a draw is a draw is a draw. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Do you know what? Funnily enough, I'll let you into a secret. For this show, obviously, we have the almost match reaction. We have a daily news show, the morning brief. And we have match preview show, and we have game day show. I've also got one in reserve called Meltdown Special. I haven't had to use that yet. I know we've only been going 10 days, but there's been no Meltdown Special yet, touch wood. And hopefully we won't use it till the end of the season. But the Reacher is right. We are hard to beat. Touch wood. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, G-Dog, for getting in the chat. Really, really appreciate that. Any of you that are watching, I can see people are watching, but not commenting. Come on, man. Don't be shy. Come and get involved. But that's it for today. I want you to like and subscribe if you feel that way inclined. Please do like and subscribe. If you're off on your way to work, we've got the podcast as well. We've got all the socials here. But basically, the Arsenal didn't lose. It's an okay result. Thank you for joining us. We will be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Join us. Get your arse in gear.